science class. For your maths lesson today, I have your arithmetic up on the screen for you. So go ahead and pause this video, have a go at answering those questions. I'll read them out to you just so you can just hear how it sounds. I find sometimes if I have something read to me, I understand it a lot better. So the questions are 4 times 9, a quarter of 100 as a fraction. What is 324 as a Roman numeral? What number is next in the sequence? 22, 42, 62, 82. 7 times 7, 56 divided by 8, a tenth of 20, 4,210 plus 1,425. Put these numbers in ascending order. 3, 9, 1, 5, 6, 64 divided by 4. These are your arithmetic questions for today. Pause the video, have a go, and when you unpause, we will get started with the lesson today. So, the learning objective for today's lesson is, can I divide 3-digit numbers by single digits? Now, what I'm expecting for all of us to understand, hopefully by the end of this lesson, is dividing a 3-digit number by a 1-digit number with or without remainders, and using place value counters and part whole models to help you. Let's have a look at this question. Jack is working out 844 divided by 4 using a place value chart. Now, what I would like for you to do is to talk about his method, either with a member of your family or just think about it to yourself, and then complete the division. So you can pause the video and have a go, and then when you unpause, I will talk you through what needs to be done, or what could be done, one of the ways it could be done. Okay, so as you can see there, what Jack has done is he's divided the number 844 into 4 rows equally. Because he's dividing by 4, we have 4 rows, and he's divided the 844. So what we need to do in order to work out what 844 divided by 4 is by counting how many, or what the number is on the first row, because whatever the number is in the first row, that number will be the same in the second, third, and fourth row. So here, how many 100s do we have? We have 100, 100, so that's 200. So I might just write it here just to have a little record. Then how many 10s do we have? Just the 1 10, so it's 200, there's a 10, and there is a 1. So let's add them together to see what the total is. 0 plus 0 plus 1 would be 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. 2 plus nothing is 2. So the answer is 211. So 844 divided by 4 would be 211. And if you want to double check that that is the answer, feel free to use a calculator or solve it in a way that suits you best to see that that is correct. Right. Let's use Jack's method to work out these divisions. So you have 525 divided by 5 and also 636 divided by 6. Pause the video and have a go, and then when you unpause, I will talk you through what needs to be done. Okay, so if we look at the first question, 525 divided by 5. Now what Jack does is he likes to split the bigger number, the 3-digit number, into place values, so into your hundreds, your tens, and your units. Now if I was to do that with the number 525, I would split it this way. So we're splitting it into 5 equal parts because we're dividing by 5. So you should have 5 rows ready to fill in. Now if we take the first number in our 3-digit number, what number is that? It's 5. What's the value of 5 in that number? Think about the place value that it's at as well. It's in the hundreds column, so that means that the value of 5 would be 500. So you're dividing 500 equally by 5. If you have a little think to yourself, that would mean that in each row you have 1 100, because then when you add these all together, you should get 500, so you've split it equally. So there should be 1 100 in each row. Then what I have chosen to do is not split 2 into 5 parts. I've chosen to split 25 into 5 equal parts because I know that 25 is in the 5 times tables. So how many 5s go into 25? 5. So then next to the 100, you do 5 little dashes to show that that's 5 1s. And then once you have done that, just figure out how many is in one of those rows, because it should be the same number in every single one. So there's no point in working out how many what the value is of each row, and they're all going to be the same. So the value of one of those rows then is 100 plus 5 equals 105. So that means then that 525 divided by 5 equals 105. If I show you with the second one as well, hopefully it might make it even clearer. Now, 636 divided by 6. The number 636 is being divided by the number 6. So the number of rows that you should have when working this out, if you're using the place value counter method, is 6. There should be 6 different rows. Now, let's split the number up into place value. So, what is the value of 6 in that number? 600. Now you have to divide 600 into 6 equal parts. And the way to do that is to have 100 in each row. Because when you add them together, 100 plus 100, 200. Count in your hundreds now for me. We have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and 600. So you do manage to split 600 up into 6 equal parts this way. Then I did exactly the same as what I did with 525, where I split 636 into 6 and 36. I know that 6 is in the 36 times tables. How many times does 6 go into 36? It goes in there 6 times. So next to the 100, you write then 6 ones, because that is how many times 6 goes into 36. And then once you have done that, you just have to work out what the number in the first row is, because it will be the same in all the other rows. So what is the number then in total of the first row? You have to do 100 plus 6. It would be 106. So 636 divided by 6 equals 106. And as I said, you can check using your own method if you'd like to, or using a calculator to see if Ms. Gulzar is correct. Here's another way of working out the division of 3-digit numbers by single digits. Eva is working out 844 divided by 4 using a part-whole model. Now, if you've already done this with your 2-digit number division, then well done. It's exactly the same. It's just you're working with more digits this time, just 1 extra digit. So we're going to complete her method. What she has done with the number 844 is she split it. So the 8 has become 800. The 4 in that number is 40, because remember our place values, and the 4 here has become 4 because there's only 4 ones. Now, bearing that in mind then, we know that 844 needs to be divided by 4. So each of these is going to be divided by 4 now. And because they're smaller numbers, I know 800 looks like a lot, but it will be easy to solve, I promise. You'll find that it's a lot easier to solve it this way, even though you're doing more division, or it looks like you're doing more, but really you're doing the same things. It's just in a easier to follow way, maybe. So 800 divided by 4. How many 4s go into 800? If you're thinking 800 is a huge number, get rid of the zeros for a second and just think about the number 8. How many times does 4 go into 8? 4, 8. Well done. And then all you have to do is just add the zeros that are in the 800 to get 200. There you go, you've already worked it out. Super. Moving on. 40 divided by 4. How many 4s go into 40? You could do the same method that you did with 800 divided by 4, where you forget about the 0, do 4 into 4. How many times does 4 go into 4 if you do 4 divided by 4? Once. Fantastic. And then just add that 0 to get 10. Super. Lastly, 4 divided by 4. How many 4s go into 4? We've already done this. 1. Amazing. Now all you have to do is just add these numbers together to get your total. So what's 200 plus 10 plus 1? If we do 200, whoopsies, almost did the wrong number. 200 plus 10 plus 1 equals 0 plus 0 plus 1 equals 1. 0 plus 1 equals 1. 2 plus nothing equals 2. So what's our number then? Remember to say it correctly as well. It would be 211. So that's another way of doing 3-digit number division. Here, Whitney is using flexible partitioning to divide a 3-digit number. So she is trying to divide 856 by 4. Could she have partitioned her number another way? Yes, she could have. So she could have done 800, and then she could have made the number 40 even smaller by halving that. What's half of 40? 20. So she could have split it even smaller, where she could split 40 into 20 and 20. And then you could split 16 even further by halving 16. What's half of 16? 8. So you put 2 8s because 8 plus 8 equals 16. And then worked out the division that way. So she would have done 800 divided by 4, which is 200. Then, remember you're adding them at the end, so I'm just going to keep adding. 20 divided by 4, 5. 20 divided by 4 again, 5. 8 divided by 4, 2. And then 8 divided by 4 again, 2. So then you just work out the total in order to get your answer. Now, use her method to work out these divisions. And when you pause the video, have a think about whether or not that method works for you. If it doesn't, then you can use your own method. But when you unpause, you will see the answers. The answers are 585 divided by 5 equals 117, and 672 divided by 6 equals 112. Here is your independent work to do now. You've got part 1, which is to use partitioning and part-whole models to solve these division calculations, and then part 2, which is a worded question. Now remember, if you have your own method, if you've been using your own method up until this point and you've been getting the correct answer, then please continue to use them. This is just a couple of ways that I've thought to teach you, but that doesn't mean that you can't use your own as well. Definitely do. As long as you feel comfortable with doing division, I don't mind which method you use. So have a go, pause this video, and then when you unpause, you will see the answers. Welcome back. Here are the answers. So, question number 1, part A. 463 divided by 4 equals 115 with a remainder of 3. Part B, 974 divided by 9 equals 108 with a remainder of 2. Question part C, 892 divided by 5 equals 178 with a remainder of 2. Part D, 353 divided by 3 equals 117 with a remainder of 2. And part E, 867 divided by 7 equals 123 with a remainder of 6. Question number 2. Eva has a piece of ribbon. The ribbon measures 839 centimeters long. How much ribbon would be left over if she cuts it into 4 equal pieces? She would have 3 centimeters left over. If she was to cut it into 6 equal pieces, she would have 5 centimeters left over. And if she was to cut it into 8 equal pieces, she would have 7 centimeters left over. Now remember, the way to work that out is to divide 839 by these numbers, and the remainder is how much ribbon is left over. So can Eva cut the ribbon into equal pieces with no ribbon left over? Clearly she cannot. And why? It's because there is always going to be ribbon left over, because that number, 839, is not in these times tables. And when that number is not in the times tables, that means there will always be ribbon left over once Eva cuts it, no matter how much she tries to cut it into equal pieces, or however many pieces she cuts it into as well. So that is your maths lesson for today, Williams class. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you have understood this. If not, that is absolutely fine. This is quite a tricky concept. So leave your questions for the live session, email me, or put a comment on Tapestry and I will do my best to help you. Take care, Williams class.